Hello, BookTube. Well, as you saw on today's videos, we wrapped up our read-along for June of The Prime Minister by Anthony Trollope, and we wrapped up our 2019 read-along of Homer's Iliad. And that leaves a weekend free next weekend for you to catch your breath, reintroduce yourself to your loved ones, put your affairs in order, all that sort of thing. Next weekend, the only thing we will not be doing read-alongs. The only thing we'll be doing is Q&A. I asked for a Q&A and I got bombarded with questions, more than enough to do a video. So we'll do a... Hey, Bean. Hey, Bean. So we will be doing that next weekend, but we won't do any read-alongs. And you should take advantage of that rest, because July is a read-along that is going to crush you. It is designed to drive all thought of sleep, rest, relaxation, family, friends, work completely from your mind. July will be turned entirely over to read-alongs. So I wanted to go through those in this video and give you another reminder of what they are, and we'll delve into some specifics. So first of all, we're going to talk about the two read-alongs that we're doing for this channel in July. The first of those, we're going to continue straight along with the Palliser novels by Anthony Trollope. We read The Prime Minister. We have one more Palliser novel to go, and that is The Duke's Children. This is the old Oxford World Classics. There's a new Oxford World Classics. There's also a Penguin, and it's also free as an electronic download in a dozen different places online. So you need not go to any expense to buy this. This is readily available, and this is the last of the Palliser novels. Like The Prime Minister, this is easy. It's 20 chapters a week. The book, it falls naturally into increments that we can use. So that's what we're going to do. So for the month of July, we're going to do a read-along of The Duke's Children at 20 chapters a week. So not next Sunday, but the Sunday after that, we'll be talking about the first 20 chapters of The Duke's Children. Then on this channel in July, we're also doing a read-along of Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. A great American novel, and a book that I've heard from dozens and dozens and dozens of you that you have long wanted to read. It's been on your shelves and you have wanted to read it. Now's your chance. Now we're going to do that, it's going to be a special delight because I bought this trade paperback on Book Depository because I loved the look and feel of it. And the last thing that you want to do when you do something like that impulsively is to get it, say, yeah, well, in person it has the look and feel that I liked, yep, and then you put it on the shelf and forget about it. That's the last thing you want to do. Instead, I'm going to use the heck out of this thing. I'm going to use this volume for my read-along, but you don't have to. Any Lonesome Dove edition that you can find, they won't be hard to find. The only reason that I'm doing this, I don't usually do, for read-alongs on this channel, I don't usually do a book that you have to pay money for, because I'm annoying enough to put up with anyway without having to pay for the privilege. But in this case, I want to try it out, and with Lonesome Dove, it has been such a popular book and has such enormous print runs that it shouldn't be hard for you to find a copy for money that will not break the bank. I'm hoping. Let me know one way or another about your struggles in that regard. But Lonesome Dove has 102 chapters, so we're going to shave 2 right off the top, and we're going to do that by quarters. So we're going to do 25 chapters a week, and then we'll just make up the last 2 at the end. So in addition to the first 20 chapters of The Duke's Children for the first weekend in July, you also have to do the first 25 chapters of Lonesome Dove for the first weekend in July. That first weekend, we will be talking about both of those. And that's a lot, you might think, but we're not done. We're only halfway there. There are 2 other read-alongs going on in July that I know of. There are probably others on other channels that I might want to take part in. But there are 2 other read-alongs that I am an actual part of, that I'm being hosted by a number of different booktubers, and I'm one of them. And that doesn't happen often, because people don't like me, because I smell. So I don't get invited to these kinds of tea parties very often. And there are 2 of those going on in July there, and they're science fiction and fantasy, and they're maybe a little looser. I still haven't nailed down the details with my co-host yet. I would like it if these also had weekly increments, and right now they don't. Right now they're monthly things. So with a group of booktubers, I am doing a read-along of The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever by Stephen R. Donaldson. And that is, there's a trilogy and then a second trilogy. We're reading all 6 books, 1 book a month from July until December. And we're starting with Lord Fowl's Bane, the first book in the first Chronicles of Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever. Now, what I would like to do with this book, of course, is, what have we got here? What have we got here? Yeah, 24 chapters. We've got 24 chapters here. So, what I'd like to do is what would that be? 6 chapters a week. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to do 6 chapters a week and talk about those 6 chapters each week. But I don't know if my co-hosts want to do that. I'll have to consult with them over the Voxer that the kids like so much and see if they'd be willing to let me do that. But if I don't do that, one thing is for certain what we're going to do, which is that in the 3rd week of the month, all of these channels, there's let's see, Janet Remembered Reads, there's Joseph Francis Burton, there's Brian at Bookish, there's Mark at Richardson Reads, and me, and I think I'm leaving no one out. I hope I'm not. But we're all going to be reading Lord Fowl's Bane, and we're all going to be talking about it in the 3rd week of the month. I don't know if I'm going to be talking about it before then. I don't want to step on anybody's style, or I'll never get invited back to one of these little things. So, if you're going to be involved in this as a read-along, then you should get started on Lord Fowl's Bane, because you're going to want to have it read by the 21st. Because I don't know about my co-hosts, but if you've been watching this channel, you know that I really don't have any patience with spoilers. This is a 40-year-old fantasy novel, so you have been forewarned. You can consider this your forewarning that on the, I forget, the 21st or the 22nd, in the 3rd week of July, I'm going to talk about Lord Fowl's Bane as if you have read it. So if you don't want it spoiled, then you should read it between now and then. I wish that we could work it out into a weekly thing. I'll see, and if my co-hosts are willing to let me do that, I will absolutely do that. Because I think you get more out of a read-along if you're going through it, you're talking about it at intervals. And it also helps with reading, too. And then, as if that weren't enough, there's another read-along. There's another read-along that I'm doing. Dune Tube. I'm doing it with Lukash at Totally Pretentious, and Mark at Richardson Reads, and I want to say there are a couple of other people, but I'm not remembering 100%. But for Dune Tube, we are reading, again, we're going to do 6 books. We're going to do from July until December. We're going to finish out the year reading 1 Frank Herbert Dune book each month, starting, of course, with Dune. Since we're, again, my Dune Tube co-hosts, I haven't really nailed down with them whether or not they'd be willing to let me talk about this in installments. But this is a long book. So this is the new Ace paperback that I'm going to be squealing with delight over all of these Ace paperbacks over the course of the year, because they were nice enough to send them to me, and they are really nice. They are really well done. And I'm even getting used to these cover designs. The Dune books, the hardcover dust jackets, and the mass market paperbacks, for 35 years had the same artist. And I loved his work, absolutely loved his work. And this is one of the first times that is not true, and it's taking a bit of getting used to, but I will. But regardless of what format you have this book in, this is another thing like Lonesome Dove, where there are so many copies that I don't quite feel bad asking you to, your library will certainly have a copy of Dune. Your used bookstore will certainly have a copy of Dune. And online, on Abe or Book Outlet or Book Depository or Amazon, there are thousands of copies for very little money. So I'm not feeling so bad about doing that. So what I'm feeling bad about is that on the 20th of the month, we're all going to get together and talk about this book, and I would rather talk about it gradually. I'd rather go through it section by section. So with these 2, I will report back. I will get back to you on whether or not we can do that on this channel. I don't want to upset my co-hosts, because I'm sure they were iffy about including me in these things anyway. But I'm not like other booktubers, right? Booktube. I make 3 or 4 videos a day. Not 2 videos a month. I make 3 or 4 videos a day. And we're all in conversation. All of us are in conversation every day. It feels natural to map that onto reading a book. I think that might be a lot of fun. And it might allow us to get through more eyes on the prize. Okay, you people? Eyes on the prize. I'm the cute one. it might allow us, it certainly would allow us to cover more detail than one 30-minute video at the end of the month. So I will consult with my co-hosts. I'm not expecting them to make a video a day or a video a week or anything like that. All the rest of you have obligations, you have work, you have families, you have hygiene. So, but I might like to do that. I'll have to check and see with them if I can. But either way, there you go. So this time around, in this video, we're making a Steve pile. But the truly horrifying fact of this Steve pile is that these are the books I'm expecting you to read in July. Look at that. That's a lot. And I'm expecting you to toe the line. So that's The Duke's Children, that's Lonesome Dove, that's Lord Fowl's Bane, and that is Dune. Okay? So that is a lot of great stuff to read all across a wide spectrum. So I just wanted to give you a reminder that your July belongs to me and Frida. It is mine. Your July is mine. I am reaching through the camera, and I'm grabbing your July, and I'm taking it for myself. So all the plans that you had for July to do your precious reading, you know, your precious reading of your Cormac McCarthy or your Nora Roberts, it's all out the window. Okay? It's all mine and Frida's. So I'm going to wrap this up for now and get back to my beautiful Sunday. But I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.